flat surface, and we are trying to use an image sampler to create this wavy form and interpolate the wavy surface out of that image that we have here. So I'll go to my Grasshopper. I already have the surface. And what I did is that I just divide the surface. Now I have the division of the surface and I have the UV value of them. I bring the image sampler. Place it here. And I'm going to use the image that I have. So the difference between the example that we have last time and then this one is that the images that I have, it is a color. So it gives me different variation if I check the value of them. I'm going to use the RGBA color system for now. So I'm going to connect this UV here. And then I'm going to check the value that I got here before I'm moving on for anything else. So if I look at that, what I will see is that it gives me 132 R, G, and B, all three value here. The things that you are actually not learning it yet, and we are going to do that now, is basically splitting the value, which called split the ARGB value here, right? The input for that is going to be the input from the image, right? And what I'm going to get out of it is going to be the value for red. So if I bring my panel now, you see that here, what I have is only the value for the R compared to the ones that I had before. Now that I have that, the rest of them will be relatively easy, right? We need a Z value, right? Z unit. And I'm going to give it a base of 20 because the value that I got from the R is not that big. So I'm going to put that here. And then I'm going to use multiplication, similar to what we have last time. And then the value that I got from the R multiplied by the value that I have from the Z value. And then we are going to use move, right? The input will be the points, the geometry, and the transformation value will be this. So let's go back and check what we have so far. So far we have all this like a value that created here. Now, what I would do here is that I'm going to create a NURB. So the NURB is basically what it does is that getting the vertices, and depending on the degree, it creates a curve out of it. We talked about the NURBs last time when we creating like a curvature. So I'm going to use that. What I got out of it is if I go back here, you see that I got the NURB of like a curve that goes around these points that I interpolate. And because I break down my surface at the beginning by 20 by 20, each of those like a value on like a y-axis, it's basically become one curve in this category. Now the rest will be very easy, right? We can just use the loft, and if I connect the curve to the loft, what I would get? Nothing. Anybody wants to guess why? So if I look at my data, what I see here is that now I have 21 value, but each of them are in one specific graph or one specific branch of the data. That means that it cannot assume that all of them are together. So what I have to do here is that I right-click on the output and flatten my data. And if I go back here, you see that now I have the geometry based on all those 21 curve here. And the rest of them is just like using the preview, custom preview, connect this here, and then we use the color switch. And then using something like blue. Here, and then connecting it here. Now if I go back and hide everything that I had before, See that I create that surfaces. Now, I want to emphasize on one thing. Right now, what you see is that if you pay close attention, you see that the UV value that I use here is not it's the surface that I got put in here. It's not parameterized. So let's try to do that parameterization and see what we got. If I go back on my surface, you see the changes on it, right? So compared to the previous one. So that's going to be affecting your result. That's something that I wanted you to pay attention to.